In a world crafted with unparalleled depth and detail, there exists a figure who defies every rule, every expectation. Tom Bombadil, a name that evokes mirth, mystery, and no small amount of head-scratching among readers and scholars alike. Who is this merry master of the old forest? Why is he immune to the One Ring's seductive power? And, more importantly, what does he mean within the vast, intricate mythology of Middle-earth? Join us as we embark on a journey to explore 7 of the most intriguing theories about Tom Bombadil's true nature, each one offering a unique lens into the enigma of this unforgettable character. Theory 1. Tom Bombadil as a Maya. Let us first consider the possibility that Tom Bombadil is a Maya, one of the Ainur, the primordial spirits created by Eru Iluvita to shape and tend to the world. The Maya are numerous, with roles that range from great power to subtle influence. Gandalf, Saruman, and Sauron are among their ranks. Could Bombadil be counted among them? Bombadil's immunity to the ring is a tantalizing clue. He picks it up, examines it, and then, without hesitation, hands it back to Frodo as if it were no more than a trinket. This act suggests a being whose essence is far above the mundane or even the magical corruption that defines Middle-earth's struggles. Goldberry, his enigmatic partner, may also be a clue. Described as the River Daughter, her nature aligns with how the Maiar are often tied to specific elements or locales, much like Melian, who wove protective enchantments around Doriath. Yet Bombadil is unlike the Maiar we know. Gandalf, a Maya himself, speaks of him not as a peer, but as a mystery. This detachment from the known ranks of Ainur complicates the theory. Bombadil's carefree demeanor and lack of explicit purpose stand apart from the purposeful roles of other Maiar, leaving room for doubt and deeper intrigue. Theory 2. Tom Bombadil is a Vala. Could Bombadil belong to the Vala, the greater Ainur who govern the world? Unlike the Maya, the Vala are titanic in power and bound to specific domains. Manwë to the winds, Ulmo to the seas, Yavanna to growing things. Bombadil, with his mastery over his small corner of Middle-earth, could be a disguised form of Yavanna, the Vala of craft. His whimsical nature may mask a more profound purpose. The Valar, as Tolkien described, often express their will indirectly. Yavanna, for instance, poured her power into the creation of the 2 trees of Valinor. Could Bombadil's seemingly limited focus on the old forest represent a larger metaphor for the Valar's enduring connection to the natural world? But why then would a Valar of such magnitude linger in obscurity? The Valar do not intervene directly in the affairs of Middle-earth after the First Age, save for rare exceptions, such as sending the Istari. Bombadil's indifference to events beyond his borders seems out of step with the larger responsibilities of the Valar, challenging this theory while still leaving the door tantalizingly ajar. Thus far, we see a character who aligns with yet resists easy categorization. But what if Bombadil's true nature goes even deeper, transcending the Ainur entirely? In the next section, we'll uncover the idea of Bombadil as a spirit of the music of the Ainur itself, a living manifestation of the cosmic harmony that birthed the world. To understand the enigma of Tom Bombadil, we must now venture into the very foundation of Tolkien's mythology, the music of the Ainur. What if Bombadil is not merely a Maya or Vala, but something altogether more profound? A being whose essence is interwoven with the cosmic fabric of the world. Theory 3. Tom Bombadil as the spirit of the music of the Ainur. In Tolkien's Ainulindal, The world is sung into existence by the Ainur through a divine composition known as the music of the Ainur. This music, imbued with the creative will of Eru Iluvatar, sets the framework for all of existence, past, present, and future. But what if Tom Bombadil represents more than a participant in this symphony? What if he is the music itself, given form in Middle-earth? This theory begins to make sense when we consider Bombadil's immunity to the ring. The ring, a creation of Sauron, corrupts by imposing its own discord upon the world. But Bombadil seems impervious to such influence, almost as if his being predates the conflicts and flaws introduced by Melkor, Sauron's master, and the original bringer of discord into the music. Bombadil's behavior also aligns with this idea. His constant singing and rhyming could symbolize his intrinsic connection to the music. Unlike others who wield song for power, think of Luthien enchanting Morgoth or Finrod battling Sauron. Bombadil's songs seem to flow naturally, effortlessly bending the world around him. He commands Old Man Willow, dismisses Barrow-wights, and delights Goldberry with melodies that seem not crafted but inherent to his nature. However, if Bombadil is a manifestation of the music, why does his power seem confined to the Old Forest and the Withingwindle? One interpretation is that the music, while universal, manifests differently in different parts of the world. Bombadil's existence could be a localized embodiment of harmony, a reminder that the natural world, untainted by ambition or greed, holds a beauty beyond mortal comprehension. But this interpretation also opens doors to critique. If Bombadil represents the music, why is his role so seemingly passive? Could it be that his existence is not about action, but preservation, a symbol of the untouched, unmarred beauty that remains in the world, even as the shadow of evil grows? Theory 4. Tom Bombadil as the spirit of Arda itself. Some believe that Tom Bombadil is not just tied to the Old Forest, but is, in fact, the embodiment of Arda itself, the living, breathing essence of Middle-earth. This idea springs from his title, Eldest, and his self-designation, Tom was here before the river and the trees. If Bombadil predates not only the forests, but the shaping of the land itself, it is tempting to see him as Arda personified. Bombadil's indifference to the ring aligns with this theory. The One Ring is a product of power, dominion, and corruption, forces that are antithetical to the natural rhythms of the world. Bombadil's immunity could reflect his detachment from these mortal concerns. To him, the ring is no more significant than a fallen leaf or a ripple on the Withingwindle. He exists beyond the cycles of ambition and destruction that define so much of Middle-earth's history. Consider also his relationship with Goldberry, who is referred to as the River Daughter. If Bombadil represents the land, could Goldberry represent the waters that nourish it? Their partnership might symbolize the harmonious balance of the natural world, untouched by the conflicts that plague mortals and immortals alike. But if Bombadil is the spirit of Arda, why does he not act to protect it? This question returns us to Tolkien's recurring theme of stewardship versus dominion. Bombadil's role may not be to intervene, but to endure, to be a witness to the world's beauty and a reminder of what is worth preserving. He is untouched by the marred history of Middle-earth, even as it unfolds around him, embodying the hope that some things remain unspoiled. But what if Bombadil is something even greater than the spirit of Middle-earth? What if he is a direct manifestation of the will of Eru Iluvatar, the creator himself? Theory 5. Tom Bombadil as Eru Iluvatar. The boldest theory of all is that Tom Bombadil is that Tom Bombadil is none other than Eru Ilúvatar, the supreme creator of Middle-earth. This idea stems from Bombadil's apparent omnipotence within his domain, his immunity to the ring, and his detachment from the conflicts of the world. Eru Ilúvatar, as described in the Silmarillion, rarely intervenes directly in the affairs of the force of Middle-earth. When he does, it is through monumental acts, the unmaking of Númenor, for instance, or the reshaping of the world at the end of the First Age. Bombadil, by contrast, is a humble figure, yet his indifference to power and his profound wisdom suggest a being far removed from the concerns of the Valar and the children of Ilúvatar. When the Council of Elrond debates sending the ring to Bombadil for safekeeping, Gandalf warns that Bombadil would not understand the need for such a task. Is this because Eru's perspective is so vast that mortal struggles seem insignificant? Or is it because Bombadil represents a divine power that does not engage directly with the world? There are, of course, challenges to this theory. Tolkien himself stated that Eru does not take physical form within Middle-earth. Bombadil's playful, almost whimsical nature also feels far removed from the majestic and ineffable character of Ilúvatar as depicted in Tolkien's writings. Yet this very incongruity might be the point. Bombadil, as Eru, could serve as a reminder that even the creator of the world might find joy in its simplest pleasures. And yet, there remains one theory that is neither cosmic nor grandiose, but no less fascinating. What if Tom Bombadil is simply something unique, a being unlike any other in Middle-earth, defying all categorization? One more step. Theory 6. Tom Bombadil as a unique, unclassifiable being. Tolkien himself described Bombadil as a particularly mysterious figure, one whose nature he deliberately left unexplained. In a letter to a reader, Tolkien admitted that Bombadil was meant to remain an enigma, an element of the world that resisted explanation and categorization. This theory resonates with Bombadil's own words. He is. Unlike the Maiar, Valar, or even Eru, Bombadil seems to exist outside the structures of Tolkien's mythology. He is neither a participant in the great conflicts of Middle-earth, nor an observer bound by its rules. He simply is. In many ways, Bombadil's unclassifiable nature mirrors Tolkien's own philosophy. The Prof often wrote about the value of mystery in myth, the idea that some elements of a story are more powerful when left unexplained. Bombadil, then, may not represent anything except himself, a fragment of whimsy and wonder in a world overshadowed by darkness. But one final theory suggests that Bombadil's origins are not rooted in Middle-earth's mythology at all, but in Tolkien's own mind, a character born of poetry, not legend. And so, we come to one of the most intriguing perspectives, the idea that Tom Bombadil exists not as a creation of Middle-earth's mythology, but as a literary artifact, a figure born of Tolkien's personal imagination, transcending the confines of the legendarium itself. Theory 7. Tom Bombadil as a literary or mythological archetype. To fully grasp this theory, we must step outside the story and look at Tom Bombadil through the lens of Tolkien's broader creative process. Bombadil, as it turns out, predates The Lord of the Rings. He first appeared in one of Tolkien's early poems, The Adventures of Tom Bombadil, published in the 1930s. In these verses, Bombadil is a whimsical character, a figure of delight and mischief who exists in an undefined pastoral setting. When Tolkien incorporated Bombadil into the Fellowship of the Ring, he carried with him the same air of mystery and mirth, but his placement within Middle-earth's mythology was never fully explained. This led some scholars to argue that Bombadil is not meant to fit neatly into Tolkien's legendarium, but instead serves as a thematic counterbalance to the weighty struggles of the narrative. Bombadil's detachment from the ring's power and the events surrounding it highlights a key theme in Tolkien's work, the idea that some things are beyond the reach of corruption. Bombadil's carefree existence, his delight in simple joys, and his indifference to ambition or power serve as a stark contrast to the escalating darkness of the War of the Ring. In this sense, Bombadil might represent an archetype, a guardian of the unspoiled, a symbol of harmony untouched by the turmoil of the wider world. But there's another layer to this interpretation. Bombadil's roots in early poetry align with Tolkien's fascination with mythological archetypes. As a scholar, Tolkien was well versed in the traditions of folklore and mythology. Bombadil's character evokes echoes of figures like the Green Man, a symbol of nature's vitality, or the jester-like trickster archetypes found in various mythologies. By placing Bombadil in The Lord of the Rings, Tolkien may have been creating his own version of these enduring symbols, a character who bridges the gap between the real and the mythic, the past and the present. Yet Bombadil also defies many traditional archetypes. He is not a trickster in the usual sense. His power is benevolent, and his actions are always in harmony with the world around him. He is not a god, yet he possesses a wisdom and authority that transcends the mortal and immortal alike. Could it be that Bombadil is Tolkien's way of reminding us that some mysteries are meant to be celebrated, not solved? But what are we to make of Tolkien's own words about Bombadil? To find answers, or perhaps more questions, we must turn to the letters and writings of the man himself. Tolkien, ever the meticulous world builder, was also deeply aware of the power of mystery. In a letter to a reader, he described Tom Bombadil as an intentional enigma. There are, Tolkien wrote, some things that it is better to leave unexplained. Oh, we got more music? Oh, it's not exactly like that, Sild. It just totally needs to be in stop. Bombadil might serve as a reminder that not everything in a story or in life needs to be understood. Bombadil's presence in The Lord of the Rings is a moment of respite, a pause in the harrowing journey, and a glimpse into a part of Middle-earth that is untouched by the ambitions of men, elves, or even Sauron. Yet Tolkien also left tantalizing clues about Bombadil's possible significance. In another letter, he referred to Bombadil as the spirit of the vanishing landscapes of Oxfordshire and Berkshire, suggesting that the character was inspired by Tolkien's own love for the English countryside. This aligns with the interpretation of Bombadil as a guardian of nature, a figure whose existence transcends the conflicts of Middle-earth and reflects Tolkien's own yearning to preserve the beauty of the natural world. But Tolkien's most revealing comment about Bombadil comes in his admission that the character was meant to be a puzzle, a deliberate outlier in a world defined by its intricate systems of history, language, and lore. Bombadil, Tolkien implied, is not an answer to a question, but a question in himself, a challenge to the reader's desire to categorize and explain every aspect of the story. Whether we see Bombadil as a Maya, a Vala, the spirit of Arda, or something entirely unique, his role in the story remains deeply significant. His immunity to the ring's power raises profound questions about the nature of corruption and the limits of evil. His indifference to the struggles of Middle-earth challenges us to consider what truly matters in a world defined by conflict. And his enduring mystery reminds us that some stories are richer for the things they choose not to reveal. In the end, Tom Bombadil is not just a character. He is an idea, a reflection of Tolkien's belief in the value of wonder, the beauty of simplicity, and the enduring power of mystery. For fans of Middle-earth, Bombadil remains both a joy and a frustration. He invites us to laugh, to sing, to marvel at the world, and yet he eludes our grasp. But perhaps that is the point. In a world where every mountain, every sword, every word of Elvish has a history and a meaning, Bombadil stands as a reminder that not all mysteries are meant to be solved. And so, as we leave the old forest behind and continue on the road to Mordor, we carry with us the riddle of Tom Bombadil. A riddle that asks not for answers, but for imagination, curiosity, and the willingness to embrace the unknown. So who is Tom Bombadil? The answer, dear friends, is yours to decide. He is, as Tolkien himself said, simply, he is.